I wanted to talk about this one. Miracle, you'll have opinions on this one. More Marvel and Star Wars stuff, or at least how that relates to things in that world, because there's news on Kathleen Kennedy.
Let's go, nerds.
Yes, let's go, nerds. So this one right here is from... Oh, I almost switched to Carter without Carter there. You have to be able to see. The audience needs to be able to see you. So look handsome. You do that very well. Okay, so this one is from Bleeding Fool, and it says, it's Marvel Studios and not Star Wars that is the backbone of Disney Plus, which I actually 110% agree with.
I think so too, because like the promotion for like 2021, like all the shows that were coming out was all Marvel and Star Wars.
The Star Wars stuff to me seems almost too fraught with controversy. As much as we have I have negative opinions on Marvel, it's not really controversial negative opinions. It's just my own take on it.
Yeah.
But as far as their actual numbers with movies, given pandemic and everything that happened, they still seem to be doing fairly well. The brand doesn't seem to be super damaged at all, which I don't say the same for Star Wars.
That's true.
This, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, what about the cartoon series that they're coming out? Don't you have faith in them?
The Marvel or the Star
Wars?
Clone Wars I loved.
But that's old. I'm talking about the new ones.
I haven't watched. I don't like any of the new. I like season 1 of The Mandalorian.
But that's not a cartoon.
But I'm just saying, in general, Star Wars I'm not big on anymore. They've lost a lot of goodwill from people in that respect. So, but we'll go with the article. And this one's from Bleeding Fool. It's from Megan Murphy, who is not one of our regular.
Nope, she's not. Nope. She's not your favorite. I almost said author. I mean writer. Not
John F. Trent, but he might be bonding into comics. So it says, in a recent survey by Whip Media, it has become pretty obvious that Marvel Studios is the backbone of Disney Plus. Variety broke down the numbers in the survey of TV time app users, where 96% of them said they had Disney Plus before. The big question was how important the Marvel TV series is to you when deciding to subscribe, and 55% said that it was the main reason that they subscribe, with an additional 8.5% saying that it was the only reason, and another 26.1% who said it's not the main reason, but they do watch. So only 10.3% said it wasn't important to them at all. That means Marvel is a deciding factor for almost 90% of the subscribers. They went on and asked about the series that the respondents had completely watched, and 72.4% had finished WandaVision, 66.7% finished Loki, and 64.7% finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I just want to say they spelled Falcon wrong.
I saw. I wasn't going to call her out on it.
That's sorry.
Leave her alone. Hannah Claire would be very upset with you for calling out a writer just for no reason.
No, I love Hannah Claire.
Okay. So the numbers dropped significantly for animated, the What If series, with only 42.5% having finished watching, even 31% having finished watching Agent Carter, and another 18.8% finished watching Inhumans. Nobody liked Inhumans.
I didn't like it. Like I tried to get into it because like they had like connections to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really loved that series. Agents of
S.H.I.E.L.D. was about as like when I mentioned Daredevil the other day. It's really funny that those are the two where I do think of those as kind of benchmarks for. Yeah. I mean, that show was like the little engine that could. It just kept getting renewed somehow, even though like the audience, like the fans were that loyal to the project, and they weren't the typical weirdo Marvel fans who are very creepy and very.
Because like. I feel like Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like kind of like you have to know like all the connections, and that's why like their fan base is not as creepy as like the other major big branding things that they have.
More loosely connected to the MCU. I mean, it is, but it's not.
But they're behind the scenes.
It's self-contained in a way that, meaning that if you're like me and you only watch the Marvel movies almost out of like a sense of like duty, like I'm just not that. I'm a DC fan, and I give a lot more leeway to those movies, but the Marvel ones I see just because it's part of what people are talking about in a lot of ways, and they're very hit or miss for me.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Not even hit or miss, more just like they're very bland, right? So I don't know if Carter, do you watch them? Like I imagine like you've seen at least some of them at some point.
I've been sitting here listening to you guys talk, and I'm like, have I been living under a rock?
You've been kind of living under a rock.
Well, most of the shows were like under NBC and like ABC also.
Okay.
So you wouldn't see it unless like you stayed up late at night on Friday nights to see
I
them.
definitely stay up late at night.
Do you spend a lot of time at home alone on Friday nights, Carter?
You know, if I am sleeping.
Do you cry yourself to sleep at night?
Do you have
occasionally?
Do you have a pint of ice cream right next to your bedstand?
I actually
right
don't
now?
even have a TV. I just got a TV, so.
Oh my God, he's like the second person that said that.
Chris Carr.
No,
Shane Cashman's family doesn't own a television, which I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Well, they still have tablets in their phones.
Okay, so they're cheating. They're not really technology free.
Yeah.
They're pretending like they're better than us, but they're not.
Yeah, but
They think they are, but
for
they're
me,
not.
like my room doesn't have a TV because I don't believe having a TV in the room.
You don't believe having a TV in the room?
You don't believe in it?
Well, because like it distracts you from sleeping.
Yeah, but so does everything else.
Your phone probably does that better than
No, it
television
makes me
does.
go to sleep. Even though I had that one sleep paralysis incident with my phone.
There was that. Oh yeah, that happened a couple of times.
Yeah, I don't like it because what happened was like I was stuck in sleep paralysis and my phone legit typed out, "Nobody's gonna help you here."
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
is that
I love-
sleep paralysis and a lucid dream? Because I woke up during sleep paralysis.
Yeah,
with
Sleep
lucid
paralysis
dream.
is half dream, half awake. It's
Yeah,
like your
because-
eyes are open, taking in the surroundings.
The science.
But your phone couldn't have done that.
No, it's
That was
basically a lucid dream.
Yeah, that's what I
but,
had that happen to, as well.
Basically, sleep paralysis is in the phase like when you're sleeping, it's in REM sleep.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like your
yeah.
body is not, it's not awake because like
You could
you're-
hurt somebody.
Otherwise,
right?
you'd walk around.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can walk around. So your body releases a chemical where it basically paralyzes you. But when you're in sleep paralysis, it makes your mind awake. So it seems like your eyes are awake. But
That would suck to wake
No,
up in like a burning
it's the coolest
building.
thing I've ever experienced. I love when it
I
happens.
hate it.
How often does that happen to you?
I don't know, maybe like once every 6 months. But it's like
Oh.
the most fear you can ever feel because it's always like surreal.
Do you always feel like you're running and you feel sore? Like my whole body feels sore after I wake up from sleep paralysis.
That's a
Really?
bummer.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to get sore after a bunch of like really like exertive physical activity. It's another thing to be like, I'm trying to get rest here, and then you wake up and you're worse than you were before.
Yeah, because like I remember I woke up with my legs feeling numb.
Ugh. Maybe the TV in your room is a bad idea.
Yeah.
If that's happened to you without it, then
Yeah.
one thing about this article is they're talking a lot, not to
I know.
segue away from
Yeah.
your creepy sleep problems,
It's okay.
but one thing I thought was interesting about this article is they're relating it all to the TV shows, and Marvel and Star Wars just doesn't have a lot, at least not nearly the same quantity.
Well, I feel like Star Wars like it lost its popularity because like wasn't it like really big in the 90s?
Holy crap! What's the opposite of OK Boomer? It's like
What? Okay, Zoomer.
I mean, I know Star Wars is big all the time.
Yes,
And I don't even watch Star Wars.
like decades before, like you weren't even a glint in your parents' eyes. Okay, maybe not that far, but the Star Wars came out in what, 78, I think, but I could be wrong
Yeah.
on the year. But that original trilogy is one of the most iconic moments of cinema in our history.
Yeah. So am I right? It was popular in the 90s.
I mean, yes, but it's not really the point.
I like the OG Star Wars.
Yes.
I do too. I like it.
One of the hardest things to find is like an original cut of the very first of A New Hope without all the CGI added by George Lucas after when
Can we find it?
you need to find it on VHS if you're going to find it. I mean, you could find it by sailing the high seas, but we never advocate for that here. We never advocate that you've sailed the high seas to get any type of media. That's bad.
Yo ho.
And they also lost a lot of favor because of The Mandalorian, what they did to Gina Carano. Not to mention Kathleen Kennedy just being generally awful as far as what she's doing with these projects, injecting modern day political sensibilities into what's supposed to be escapist fantasy is never a recipe for success. The fact that the Rise of Skywalker, I think, made $1.2 billion when it should have crossed well over $2 billion for that movie.
I didn't really enjoy it. The only like Star Wars movie that was like new, I like Rogue One a lot.
Rogue One was good.
That one was really good.
Because it was not self-contained, but those characters were a lot more likable and a lot more. It just felt like narratively, it was a better story structure than Rey and her invincible. I can do anything well. I'm perfect.
And then she had basically a relationship with somebody who's actually related to her, Kylo Ren.
Not to mention the fact that he was
Incest.
abusive and creepy. That was Reylos are weird.
It's just weird, but like I just love Donnie Yen's character where they put a bag over his head and he's like, I'm blind, why do you need this?
Why would you see? But the thing that shouldn't be. That's not Star Wars. That's not Star Wars in context. Is that's me being picky.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be the prequel.
They don't talk like Star Wars characters.
They
me.
don't.
They talk like 21st century, Joss Whedon characters.
How does a Star Wars character talk?
Basically, like think of like early Princess Leia.
Is it supposed to be in the future or the past?
Both.
You're living in a time.
Galaxy far, far away.
You're living in a time period where it's both the past and the future.
And I'm not nearly
so
as well versed on Star Wars as like
Same.
I'm normie on Star Wars in a lot of respects.
Same.
But like Clone Wars, yes, but was more like I had a friend who liked it. And then the rest of it is like I've only seen them because other people are seeing them. It's like the same with Marvel, but I would still go see Marvel before I would go see most of the new Star Wars just because I'm not a fan of Kathleen Kennedy or the way they've taken the projects there. I will watch the Ahsoka series when it comes out.
Which one is the Ahsoka series?
Ahsoka Tano.
Okay.
So I will watch that when it comes out to support Rosario Dawson. So that will be good.
I don't know. Like for me, I just feel like not a lot of people really care for Star Wars anymore.
Well, that's the like Kathleen Kennedy, and I always bring it back to her because it really is like if you're in charge, the buck stops with you. And it's the creative differences with Colin Trevorrow when he was supposed to do the original version. I don't know if he was supposed to do the original version of The Rise of Skywalker, and then they lost 2 other directors in the original in the original Han Solo movie. People kept leaving, they kept changing things, and.
The Han Solo movie, I tried to watch it. I rewatched it 3 times, and I couldn't get into it.
Lost money. Lost money.
At least you tried.
I tried.
Jeez.
I tried. Like, I watched the first half. I only watched, 5 seconds, and I fell asleep. And then I played it again, fell asleep again. And then the third time, I was too busy, working.
Well, so you watched, 10 seconds over the course of 2 times, and then you kind of had it on the background?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I feel about a lot of Marvel and Star Wars stuff. It's background noise.
Yeah.
It's just entertainment for the sake of entertainment. It doesn't. We're going to talk next week about Hellbound, which is actual, beautifully done cinema that engages you.
I told you.
We will talk about that next week because I'm about 3.5 episodes through.
I told you it's good, and he's not even on the part where it breaks your heart.
It broke. There was a couple of parts in it.
You're not on the part of the baby.
No. Okay. Well, I'll get there.
Baby.
Calm yourself.
Sorry.
Calm yourself. So, that to me, when I think of what actual cinema is that can actually reach you and move you, that's you're gonna get it with something like that every time.
Well, do you think it's because the Korean movie industry or media industry is basically rising? Because I remember before these TV shows like Hellbound and then Squid Games came out, there was K-dramas where it was basically a romance. My favorite one, I bet you a lot of people remember this. It's still on Netflix. It's called Boys Over Flowers.
Never seen. I'm going to be looking into more of it now. One thing I will say is it's taken time for me because of my being deaf in one ear.
Yeah.
The dub, it's hard for me because I do look at people's I not read lips, but I follow movement when I'm
I do
reading
the
stuff.
same thing. We
So
both critique that a lot.
I've read some stuff that there might be bad dub in that, but we'll talk about that on Monday.
Yeah.
So for the Monday episode. So
But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it's just having a better I just feel like the Korean industry is having a better publicity and more loyal to the fan base.
Not bogged down by the identity politics that permeates America, so the storytelling seems more natural to me.
Yeah, and plus I remember I was watching these YouTubers. They're called Just Kidding Films, and they're talking about how why people are so invested into Korean dramas is because the Korean motto is sorrow and revenge. That's why it's so good, because they know those feelings.
Yep.
And they know how to hit the human feelings like that.
It feels like they figure out how to tell it in the narrative much better and with far less baggage. It feels more real to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna start looking for more stuff. So I'll take more of your suggestions.
I can recommend more.
I will probably take those recommendations. So.